I might as well just start calling you like my guest co-host. We've been spending a lot of time together over the last couple of months because not only are you a terrific candidate, but you've been introducing me to such wonderful candidates, and it's so important that we talk about these library and school board races. Pritzker, our 800-pound health czar, is directing $500,000 in the last week to support extremists, far-left, progressive candidates that want to teach our kids a sexual education curriculum that I can't even read on radio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
so why are we teaching it, Jay? If we can't even read this stuff on radio, why are we teaching it to first and second graders? But before that, Jay, I'd like you to introduce our incredible group of candidates here as well.
Absolutely, Mark, and thanks for having us. Our group, We the Parents, Illinois. We are going after the seats in 5 local school districts and 2 library boards in our Homer Township and Lockport area. I have John Walters with me today. He's running for Homer Township Library. I've got Jocelyn Cutforth. I always say it improperly. Okay. She's running for 91. And then we also have a special guest. We have Jody Benson with us, and she's running for Lemont School District, High School District 210.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. It's so welcome, all of you, and this is just going to be an easy conversation. We'll take your time because it's so important to get your messaging out. And for starters, Jocelyn, running for school board right now, it's like walking through a meat grinder. It is so vicious. What inspired you? Was there a moment that you said, you know what, I'm going to walk through the meat grinder and I'm going to run for school board? Was there a particular moment for you?
I don't know that there was a particular moment, other than just a multitude of things culminating. Seeing my kids struggle through the COVID lockdowns to make it through school. And then I'm actually a public special education teacher myself, so I have an insider perspective. And just seeing how much our students and our teachers need support. And a lot of people are complaining, but nobody's standing up to do it. And I thought, you know what, my kids are the most important thing to me. This is important while they're still with me. And so I figured I might as well, I want to be supporting their schools, supporting the students, making sure that the schools are good, things that aren't in schools don't creep into schools. And I thought, well, nobody else is going to do it. I might as well give it a shot because I'm willing to fight for my kids.
Well, and we're so glad that you did. And I'm going to bounce around to John because this is fantastic. This is the first time this is my maiden voyage here on Mark My Words to have a library candidate. And we can't forget about the importance of library candidates. It's absolutely critical. And so, John, I wanted to ask you, same question, but what inspired you to say, you know what, I'm going to put my name on the line in this vicious environment, and I'm going to run for the library?
Well, when the kids aren't in school, a lot of times they're going to the library, especially during the summer, and it's the same thing. There's been a hyper-sexualization of the kids. Sometimes there's books in neighboring libraries, not our particular library that I'm aware of yet, but there's kids in neighboring school library districts that have checked out books that are totally age inappropriate, that teach them about, we have an 11-year-old in the next library district over that checked out a book about, doing sexual activities that 11-year-olds shouldn't have to know how to do yet.
Oh my gosh.
And so let's have some community standards and some safeguards, maybe where the parents would have to check out the book if they want their kid to have it. We're being told that we're book banners and book burners, but that isn't something we want to do. We're for the Bill of Rights and the freedom of speech, and the books should be there, but they should be, our children have to be protected. Sometimes they can't get video games because they're age inappropriate. They can't see movies. They can't drive a car. They can't buy a firearm. So let's make sure that they can't check out these books. And also, our tax bills are 70% roughly for schools, but our library districts are also on our tax bill. Let's make sure that money is being spent appropriately and that we know what it's being spent on.
Right. Are these crazy progressives fighting with the movie theaters, right? Movie burners, film burners. I mean, it's outrageous. Man, it's so important to have these library candidates here. John, thanks again for being here. And Jody. Jody, was there same question to you, was there a particular moment that you thought, I too am going to walk through this meat grinder?
Yes and no. My journey began in the summer of 2021, at which time I was contacted by a friend that wanted support. She was attending school board meetings, and she just wanted someone there for emotional support. When I showed up, there was a group of moms there that all shared the same concerns, and they had asked me to speak on their behalf. And in doing so, I kind of found my voice a little bit because we all shared very similar concerns at the time. And as things progressed, I began attending school board meetings on a regular basis, and parents and teachers in the community were reaching out to me privately. They wanted to remain anonymous, completely understandable, but they had concerns that they were hoping I would share on their behalf at these school board meetings. So it was kind of that moment where I realized I could be a voice for all of these people. At one point, I even contacted the schools to see if maybe there could be a parent liaison that could be the buffer between the schools and the parents to keep problems from happening in the future. You can bring things to their attention and just say, hey, just letting you know, we've got multiple parents that are concerned about this issue or that. Maybe it's something that you can get ahead of. Truth be told, I never had any intention of running for school board, but I put my name in the hat, and I have a really great slate that is running with me for District 210.
That's fantastic. And hopefully we'd love to have you here for the hour because I think it's important. If any of you have to leave early, that's fine because I think it's so important to get these messages out. And there's so much to discuss. Very quickly, and before we go into another break, Jay's wife is a perfect example of being harassed and intimidated during these meetings. I've heard stories of parents and school board candidates being spat on, police called, restraining orders, trying to put restraining orders in place, calling the police to have a school board candidate, a mom, from picking up her child in the school vehicle line. I mean, under constant attack. And so I want to open the floor to any of you. Perhaps, Jocelyn, are you aware, have you been a victim of this sort of harassment, these vicious attacks by the left?
In the beginning, it was just a little bit of basically social media like Facebook slander and lies and things like that was a little irritating. And I thought, well, not many people are following. I would reach out to these people and offer them to buy them a cup of coffee, meet me, speak with me, see if they still hated me and thought I was an evil person. Nobody ever reciprocated. Although recently, last week, I did find out, because I am part of We the Parents Illinois, that some people who think that we are absolutely evil people actually has reached out and warned my school principal of where I work of who I was and the group that I was with. And fortunately, I have an amazing administrator who understands who I am and bases her view on me of how I teach and how I work in the school and through her getting to know me. But I thought it was very interesting that they are so fueled by hate without knowing who I am to actually reach out to my place of employment that could have potentially ended my career simply because I want to help keep schools good schools, support teachers and students, and apparently that's a terrible thing.
Apparently that's a terrible thing, and that's leveling attacks against everyday moms and dads. I've been in the political arena for a very long time, national level, international level. I signed up for this, but none of you did, and it's outrageous. We're going to continue to hear more of these stories as we interview